I said, what's on your mind there?
Well, we got a little bit to talk about.
All right, cool.
All right.
You
Go
got a
inside
favorite talking area?
Yeah, dispatch room.
All right, we can do that one.
All right. All right. Let's go ahead and turn on a recording right over here. Right this way. All right.
You gonna put it next to the donuts?
Yeah, right over here. All right.
Hey, I do have a complaint I'd like to file.
Yep, we can certainly do that.
On Martha May, she never brings donuts in the morning. It really pisses me off.
Really?
Yeah, she works right next to the donut shop, too. She's just being a turd about it.
All right. Give me just 1 second.
And I'm not allowed to buy anything there anymore because I pointed out that the woman working there wasn't wearing shoes. She didn't like that. So she banned me from buying donuts.
Here we go. It is 3/3/2025, 10:30, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Sergeant Brian Knight with the Los Santos Police Department. Can you state your name?
Dylan Sawyer.
All right. Dylan, you're being asked to provide information as part of an internal and or administrative investigation. This is a voluntary interview, and you do not have to answer questions if your answers would tend to implicate you for a crime. No disciplinary action will be taken against you solely for refusing to answer questions. However, the evidentiary value of your silence may be considered in administrative proceedings as part of the facts surrounding your case.
Shit, is this one of
any
this
statement,
one of them things?
Quiet, any statement you do provide, that you do choose to provide, may be used as evidence in criminal and or administrative proceedings. You understand?
What's this thing called that you just made me aware of? It's got a name. I can't remember it. It's
the Garrity warning.
Oh, yeah, that whole, Garrity warning. Yep. Yeah, that's what that's called, yeah.
All right. So, it is come to my attention that you yourself and Carmine have been actively finding vehicles that might be illegally parked.
Yeah, it tends to be our job, yeah.
All right. I believe the reference was you three are the Three Musketeers. Is that, do you go by that?
Night Forever, PET.
No, I'm thinking of the 27th.
Three Musketeers.
Okay.
We have referred to ourselves as the Sawyer Squad.
Okay. All right. So break it down for me. What exactly, how do you go about towing a vehicle?
All right, so there's a lot of things here. So I'll break it down, and then how about this? I'll break it down and I give an example. All right. So I've combed through the legislation, Constitution a bunch of times. I mean, a lot. And so during my escapades of, sipping a mimosa, maybe a Cosmo while reading the stuff on my MDT, feeling feisty, sitting on my beanbag, I've come to the determination that, and this is actually backed by two justices who I've talked about it. So when you are getting a vehicle towed, right, technically, as an officer, when you're getting that vehicle towed, the vehicle's in your custody, and then you're relinquishing it to a third party, whether that be a PD tow, which is not a PD organization. It's not recognized as a police, it's like an outside organization that we employ towards, help us out in the field, as well as a tow truck driver. So what is let's say when there's an illegally parked car, it has to get properly documented. You have to radio the tow personnel, because if no tow personnel's come, you ain't got no need to catalog it, right? Then you just find the person, give them an unauthorized parking ticket. But if there's no person visibly in range, and even if there was, I'm not legally obligated to make anyone aware that I am, having their vehicle towed. There's no real, there's nothing that states in any form of law, whether that be legislative or constitution, that I gotta make the party aware that their vehicle is subject to tow. The only thing I gotta make them aware of is when I give them the ticket, not the tow. So when we take the car into police custody, which is essentially what we're doing when we're handing it off to be towed.
Okay.
It's our job. You want me to stop?
No. Continue going.
So it's our job at that point to kind of ascertain and document the insides of that vehicle before we hand it off to that third party. So that's essentially,
all right.
How we go.
Please don't play with the poker chips on the table.
Sorry about that. You know how I get all antsy.
I don't know. We haven't really spoken much. Please continue.
Yeah, I know. I think it's actually our second time speaking.
Yeah. So
first time was when you told me to take a lap.
Yeah. So the next, let me re-ask this question. Why do you inventory a vehicle that is to be towed?
Well, I just stated. So essentially, there's nothing that says that. So this is kind of like a two-prong argument, because I could either argue against this or for it. But I'm not afraid to experiment a little bit and maybe get a little fucked up if I'm wrong.
Okay.
I'm not afraid to, get
well,
a little
why do you
spicy.
think we inventory?
Well, because we're handing it off to a third party.
Good. Okay.
And at that point, the vehicle is in our custody.
Right. And so the documentation is for what?
Documentation is to make sure that if anything was taken out by tow truck drivers, that we can, ascertain getting it collected back.
Right.
And
it's for our protection. It's for the owner's protection, right?
It's 100%. It's more so for their protection as well. It's both. It's equal, 50-50, I'd say.
50-50, right. We don't want someone saying, hey, you stole our I had a Rolex in the glove box, right?
Well, can I point something out? Because I think there's an important thing, right? So if a car is, let's say that a car is illegally parked, right, like tire touching the curb or some bullshit, but it's not obstructing anything, I don't really think that's subject to tow. I think that's more so subject to just the citation.
Yeah.
Right? Like that'd be a level of pettiness that I'm not really wanting to get into. But let's say you're blocking the emergency lane at the hospital, or your car is facing the wrong side of the road, jettisoned out, of the space, whatnot like that. I'd say that's subject for tow, and if there's no one around, then it's not really on me to launch a thorough investigation. I got to get the car towed, inventoried, send it on its way.
Okay, very good. Can you inventory a vehicle if you have no intent to tow?
No.
Okay.
That would be violating their rights. I think that's that's not. I almost said the wrong thing. I think it's part of the Terry v. Ohio, I think, and then the one where it's
kind of, yeah.
It's part of it's the other one. You know what one I'm talking about? The other one.
Yeah.
There's one specifically for cars.
It's fine.
Well, you know which one I'm talking about. The specific one for cars that you have to have.
We don't have that case law in San Andreas.
Oh, that
it can be derived.
Even better then.
Well, it can still be derived from the Constitution, right? It would be an illegal
a lot of
search.
Things can be derived from the Constitution, that's for sure. Like, here's the thing. I noticed in the legislation that there's nothing saying that you can't, and there's nothing saying that you can. So I'm fine with being the scapegoat and experimenting a little bit. That's fine.
I would not ask you to do that. I don't think anything you've said so far indicates that you're doing something out of line, at least from what we've discussed.
No, I'm
not. What are your thoughts on Carmine? Does he understand these things?
I don't think Carmine and Bobby understand a goddamn thing. I think that I try to teach them certain things out in the field, but they're stuck in their ways, and it's fine because.
And what are those ways?
Well, Carmine's actually been very
Can you
helpful.
stop playing with the poker chips on the table?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay, you know what? Go ahead, play with them. It's fine.
No, I won't. I put him down. Threw him across the room.
All right. All right. Well, let's start with Carmine. What makes you believe he's unaware of let's call it tow etiquette or tow procedure?
Well, it's a more complex theory than the basic things that a lot of other cops get up to. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't really expect him to sit down and thumb through legislation like I have. Like it's a sad thing to admit how many times I've had to read it. I've had to read it so many goddamn times. It's like I see it when I close my fucking eyes.
Okay.
I think that Carmine's very open to learning. Carmine's very open to kind of following someone's lead, whereas Bobby's kind of a dipshit, if I'm being honest with you.
Can you expand on that?
Bobby just wants to destroy himself. If Bobby had the power to, I'm pretty sure he would destroy the entire planet, including himself.
Have you seen him search a vehicle without calling a tow?
No.
Okay. Have you encouraged him to do it?
No, I've never encouraged anybody to do that because that would be fundamentally wrong.
Is there a reason why he puts that blame on you?
Yeah, because he's a moron, sir.
You have not that he has. I'm just hypothetically. It's a gotcha question. He hasn't.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
He's just a moron. I'm sure you get that vibe when you talk to him. Sniveling little coward, man.
No, well, I don't think it's fair to be,
Well, he's a weasel. Come on, we can both admit it.
I would only say that if there was evidence for it, and
I could give you tons.
What? Do you have some examples?
No, it's not that big of a deal. It's not really in scope of anything. It'd be petty.
Right.
I think he's a good boy, and I think that he tries.
Have you been riding along, riding with him often?
Oh, I haven't been allowed to ride with him ever since the hospital incident that occurred, which I got 3 daps for simply trying to explain to somebody why what they're doing is wrong, and then Captain Trigg shows up and gave me the first daps that he ever gave anybody.
Can you? I don't want to dig too much into this if it's been handled, but what is the relationship here? What happened with that?
Well, so quick TLDR on the situation is that we had a 9-to-5 Blake Ryder in our custody. She was getting medical care.
Yeah.
She needed to get surgery and be put in the ICU. And what happened was so we basically allowed the doctor to kind of take her into the medical wing. An EMT and a man dressed in plain clothes. We don't know who any of these people are. Head on back there, and when I asked them for identification before they go back there, because I got to do my due diligence, right? I got to make sure that they work there because they could be introducing something. They could be, for all I know, the doctor could be arranging a pickup or a weapon to be put on this person or anything like that. I'm no medical expert. And instead of telling me, "Hey, here's my ID, I work here," they ignored me, walked past me, and continued to ridicule me.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's the part that Captain Trigg wouldn't seem to get into his thick fucking skull, if I'm being honest, sir.
Wow. Were you when you were riding with Bobby prior to that incident? Were you impounding vehicles?
Well, we had Bobby was only there for one instance, and it was the incident with Miss Blake Ryder. Yeah.
Okay. And prior to that, you were not riding with him.
Prior to that, I believe I was riding with him a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. And when you were riding with him, were you actively looking for vehicles, impounding them?
Well, I was actively doing my job, looking for people committing offenses, whether it be misdemeanor or felony level, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. I don't think I have any. Has he approached you in the last, let's say, 48 hours about anything involving searching of vehicles that are marked up for tow?
No, he just says he's going to take me down with him.
Okay. Have you discussed? What do you mean?
I don't even know what he meant.
Okay. Is there? Have you been involved in any search warrants with him?
No, it's just been on me and Carmine.
Okay. And who are the subjects of that search warrant?
Ashen Wolf, Violet Waters, and a bank subpoena for that doctor who was got caught with them tourniquets on people without reporting it.
Understood.
Ramsey.
And finally, have you been riding along or interacting with Mr. Tylenol Peters?
He was in the car for maybe 30 minutes today.
Okay. And did he mention anything about search warrants?
He kept on asking Bobby what happened to that raid warrant yesterday. What happened to that raid yesterday? And then Bobby kept on telling him to shut the fuck up, Peters. You know what happened to it. And then Tylenol said, I can't believe you fucked it up. You're a fuck up.
Okay. All right. Well, I have no further questions, Sawyer. I appreciate it. Between us, I think, this is me. What the fuck? Hold on.
Well, I can explain something else too, because I think it would, if I could fully explain the logic, then you could probably poke holes in it.
For what?
This is about the inventoriant.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, so it's kind of a multiple prong thing, and I'm doing this not because I'm trying to fuck myself or anything like that. I'm doing this because I want to get someone's opinion, and I haven't really been able to talk to anybody.
Jacob, think of the 19. You know? Okay.
So,
LFG.
In my opinion, if we were to say, we let's say you go to Senior Buns, right? There's a car parked in the middle of the road obstructing traffic, and then you take a photo of that car, and then you assign that car to be towed by an individual, right?
Correct.
And then let's say hypothetically that car gets towed. And then someone comes and gets in, and then the driver said, "Hey, I got some things missing out of my car," right?
Correct.
What would be who would be culpable in that? Let's say they actually had documentation.
So you're asking, sorry, run that back. Who would be culpable if something was missing, or they just made
if they claimed something was missing is what should be said.
That would be determined by civil court, right?
So yeah, see that, but so here's like my
I don't know how they'd win that civil court if that's what you're asking.
Let's say that they actually documented their belongings when they got out of the car and were going inside, right? And there was like some type of fancy doodad in there that went missing.
Something. Well, so
but let's say you didn't inventory that car and you couldn't prove the validity of it.
Well, let's play this hypothetical, right?
Okay.
So let's say we inventory a vehicle that's marked for tow. There was like a Rolex in the glove box, right? You photograph it. Now the vehicle is left there. It should be locked, right? And now it's the tow driver comes to pick it up.
1 second. You can't relock a car once you Slim Jim it.
The lock should we should be putting a door like a special lock on it.
Well, I'm telling you so that, like, let's say when you inventory a car, like the car won't relock. So that's why whenever I inventory a vehicle, I sit and wait for tow to come. If they're not already present.
Okay.
So I notify them. And then I stay on scene to make sure that there was no fuckery in play.
Are you talking about like PD tow, or are you talking local tow? Like the tow dispatch?
I utilize PD tow because we can get in contact with them
Okay,
quicker.
Good.
And I like giving them more work to do.
Okay, so run the scenario back, because I think I may have misunderstood the example.
So the scenario is at that point in time, I believe. So do you want me to tell you what I believe would happen?
Well, what's the scenario that something when you
something went missing? But
at what point?
you didn't inventory the vehicle. The driver had proof that it was in the vehicle, and then something goes missing. And then it was two parties, right, who had access to the vehicle that we know for sure.
I
right,
think it would
be
land
the
on
officer and the
us.
towman. 100% it would.
Yeah, and I think it would land on us as a consequence of not having documented a vehicle when it was in our possession, right? It was in PD custody, and it is technically in PD custody, I would argue, while it's being towed, right? Now, we kind of like relinquish it if we were to, use, call through.
See, I thought the same thing, but it's like so can I tell? I hate to interrupt, but
No, go ahead.
I think I can draw an interesting parallel because this is what
Yeah.
I thought. So it's like when we have a 9-to-5 and we take them to the hospital, they're in our custody, but the 9-to-5's in their care type thing. So that's the kind of way I kind of view it when it comes to people's property, like their cars and whatnot. It's in our custody,
that's a
but it's in their
whole
care.
nother topic, to be honest.
I think it's pretty similar. I think it draws some unique parallels. I mean, it's the only thing you can really make it comparable to, I think. But then are you relinquishing custody? You know, maybe you are relinquishing custody. Maybe, I mean, it's not defined. And then at the end of the day, maybe it even is illegal.
Once a person is rendered, guilty for a crime in court, is it DOC's custody? Is it our custody? Whose custody is it? When are they?
So that's different. That's custody transition.
No. Sorry, I'm making a joke about a court case that happened recently. So the answer
was it a good one?
No, it wasn't. It was god awful. I'm gonna put it this way, right? These are valid questions to be asking, but there is no right answer. And the reason why there is no right answer is because it would require a ruling on that particular incident. So, if a owner of a vehicle finds and has that they have something missing, right? It is their decision, alongside their lawyer, to decide whether they want to press civil charges on us, put civil charges on tow. It would probably start with us, and then ultimately the judge decides based on the evidence presented to them whether we were liable, right? And one judge may say we were liable. Another judge may say the tow driver is liable. So I don't think there really is a clear-cut answer to that, because
that's the issue.
There is no law indicating when, like, whose custody it is after we issue, like, things are a little different here, right? So it's that like gray area that probably just has not been explored.
Doctors don't understand PIPA. Well, my bad. That's a different conversation.
Hold on. Listen, there's a lot of shit that isn't understood by a lot of individuals, all right? But, I don't want to enter into that topic because I share very similar opinions with a book I'm writing on politics. And the simple thing is, all right, to your point, we never give custody of a fucking 95 to a doctor, ever.
That's why I said we didn't give custody. It's in their care. That's the thing. So the 95's in their care, but it's in our custody.
But we do, because they fucking lock us out, all right? And they think it's theirs, and there's all this other fucking bullshit that doesn't pass common sense, but we have to argue against common sense.
Yeah, that's what they did to me. Oh, you must have experienced the same shit, huh?
What do you mean?
Happened to me. That's what the situation was over. That's what the
Wait, I don't even. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like in and out. Wait, what happened to you again?
That's a situation that happened at the hospital. Exactly what you just explained. They don't understand their own PIPA policies. I had a doctor told me.
Oh no,
that,
they don't.
They couldn't
I brought our fucking cadet down there. All right, for Ozempic because he's fat as fuck. All right, and he's out of shape, and he's gonna get himself fucking killed. And so we get down there just for a checkup. And on one hand, I'm saying, hey, he needs a checkup for Ozempic and whatever. And I've got some dumb fuck EMS and some dumb fuck doctors like, yo, you can't do that, fucking PIPA. And I'm like, I'm asking for a side room and you're fucking testing him in the open bedside area. And you're telling me I'm having a problem with PIPA? First
Oh, yeah,
off,
they're
bitch,
dumb.
stay in your fucking lane. All right. And number two, the fucking dumb fuck, he could have, if he's got a problem, they got side rooms. You want to go and treat him here? That's your choice. And then be surprised. The way that PIPA, or especially HIPAA, the way that shit works is that the onus is on the medical professional to ensure that their information does not come out. So if they're actively conducting medical examinations out in a fucking public area, you're inherently violating it.
Hell yeah, who would have thought, right?
Everybody with a brain would have thought.
Well, not them. I mean, listen, you don't have to have a brain to become a doctor. I mean, I made it clear, too. They were like, well, PIPA this and PIPA that. And I was like, hey, stupid. If a psychologist is talking to somebody and they say they're going to go shoot their mother, they're going to report it to the police, right? You're kind of obligated the same thing. If you actually think that a crime may or may have occurred, that you need to let the police know, because how else are you supposed to look out for someone, because you're not looking out for them. They're not looking out for themselves.
God.
You know what I mean?
Oh, my God. And then I got some dumb. Oh my God! You know what?
I'm not allowed
Sawyer,
to go to
you
the
are free to
hospital no
go.
more.
Yes, you are.
Well, they tell me I'm harassing the EMS just by talking to them.
Are these people fucking stupid? I just got done with a 95 that just tried to kill somebody, an officer, and he was crying to go in the big cell. I put him in the little cell, and I had some dumb fuck deputy accuse me of torturing him because the suspect was crying.
that
And
kind of made
actively
me laugh. I'm not gonna lie.
went to the fucking Bolingbrook, clearly acting as their attorney, and this dumb fuck deputy is actively involved with getting people sick.
Son of a bitch.
You stay strong, Sawyer. I got your fucking back.
Hey, I appreciate that, Sergeant. It's nice to know someone's got my back. I feel like everyone's out to fuck me.
All right. Well, you have a good day, Sawyer.
You too. Hey, good talk, Sergeant.
Yep. Likewise. And if you see Bobby doing crazy shit, please let me know.